Hey guys, so this is my first video in a line of blogs that I hope to carry out, talking about mostly the NFL. So I'm an NFL fan from the UK, and I'm looking to do this blog show, and at the moment it's going to start with um, an overview of the 32 teams in the NFL, hopefully before the start of the regular season. So I'm going to start off in the AFC East with the New York Jets. So you're probably thinking, kind of ironic starting with the Jets. Everyone loves to talk about them. That's true. Part of the reason why I started with them. Um, First thing I'm going to look at is last year, how they performed. So you have to look at um, their results, and they certainly fell off at the end of the year. There's no denying that. 6-10 up until the game in Tennessee, and on December 17th, they had a very good shot at going to the playoffs, or at least an outside shot. It wasn't the best New York Jets team. That, safe to say, came in 2010, and was on the back of the two AFC title games. But the main question is, why did the Jets fail so badly last year? I mean, I think there's several reasons you can look at and point to. First off, you can look at the front office and say Mike Tannenbaum, some pretty bad contracts given, such as the Mark Sanchez one. Everyone likes to talk about that. It wasn't a good decision, and the whole organisation is aware of that, as proven by the Geno Smith signing and the Mike Tannenbaum firing. Um, I think if you look more at the players, yes, Sanchez was poor. Yes, 26 turnovers is bad. Yes, the Revis injury is big. Obviously, having him out for the whole year, it's pretty difficult to beat that good a team without your best player. But I think, importantly, you look at what the difference between the 2012 Jets and the 2010 Jets was, and you have to say it's the running game. Whereas Sean Green was big in 2009, big in 2010, with Damian Tomlinson as well, great receiving back from the backfield. Yes, he was in the twilight of his career, but it's pretty difficult to turn a blind eye to the fact that he was still producing a lot of touchdowns, such as the touchdown against the Patriots in the divisional championship game, 2010. Great catch, getting it into the end zone, started the game going. Sean Green as well, run it in 2010 in the same game. That was a big touchdown where he ran it in, killed the game. Secondly, you look at him, 2009 AFC Championship once again. When he went down, the Jets' chances basically went with him. So there's certainly the argument to make that Sean Green was a big reason for the Jets' success. So how could he be a reason for that failure last year? Very simply put, he, I don't know whether it was injury or he looked to have gained a few pounds as well. He wasn't the same back. He wasn't hitting the holes. I mean, the offensive line for the Jets still was DeBretto, Ferguson, Nick Mangold. They were opening up some big holes there. Austin Howard was vastly improved over Wayne Hunter. But one thing you can't look past is the fact that Sean Green was just running into the backs of players. I know Mark Sanchez, Bart Fumble, blah blah blah, but Sean Green was not hitting any of the holes, which made it very difficult for Sanchez. We all know Sanchez is no Peyton Manning, no Tom Brady, but at the end of the day, he was having to throw a lot, third and long. Almost impossible to succeed like that. I mean, Tony Soprano has to take some of the blame as well. You can't call two running plays, gain 2 yards, go to third down, third and eight, and say Sanchez, go throw to your targets, which are non-existent once again, and win the game for us. But that's something that the Jets have looked to try and sort out over the offseason. So that brings me on to my next area, the transactions for the Jets. So obviously, John Idzik brought in, got rid of Darrelle Revis with the trade. Was it possibly did they get the most value from him? No, but he was coming off an ACL tear. Do I think it was the right thing? Yes. Purely because Antonio Cromartie was very successful last year. He was very good. He was probably the second best corner in the NFL while Revis was playing the best while Revis wasn't. I think people will argue that Richard Sherman, but I think if you watch it, Cromartie was excellent. I think D. Milner, look, it was interesting when the Cowboys draft board was leaked. It was interesting to see that they had him ranked, I think it was the fourth best player. I mean, the Jets claim they had him in the top four as well. I still think the Jets would have liked to have gone Tavon Austin in that position, but obviously the St. Louis Rams moving up ahead of the Jets made that impossible. I think they'll be pleased with getting Milner and finally getting him under contract big, because the Jets But the Jets also do have a lot of players who are good in that secondary already. But D. Milner could be very good. I think Sheldon Richardson as well, first round pick, he appears to be coming along well. He allows Quinton Copus to move to outside linebacker. Whether that will be a success or not, I'm unsure. But at the very least, it will mean they have another player to play outside linebacker, an area where the Jets have not been great of late. I mean, Calvin Pace was re-signed. Good for leadership standpoint, but I'm not sure he once again is the same player they signed back in 2008. I think Brian Thomas is obviously gone, replaced by Antoine Barnes, who he may not be the flashiest player. He may be an Alden Smith, someone like that, obviously. But he got 11 sacks in 2011. I think he has a good opportunity to try and come into the Jets as a situational pass rusher, take over where Aaron Maiden fell short, and I think he can produce some sacks for the Jets. I think that's the main area for the Jets, that defensive front. I think that could be a very good group, one of the best in the NFL. Not quite sure I'd go as far as Cope was saying it'd be the best, but it's a young, athletic group. I mean, you look at it from the line to the linebackers. You've got Sheldon Richardson, who looks like could be a very good prospect. Kenrick Ellis, third round pick a few years ago, hasn't quite produced, but some of that was possibly due to his legal standpoint, and now that's in the past. Maybe he can move forward as a player. Suddenly, that's what you're hearing in Jets camp, that he is playing well. I mean, then you've got Muhammad Wilson, who should have gone to the Pro Bowl last year, very good player. I think then you go on, you have Antoine Barnes, outside linebacker, with Quinton Copel, two guys who can rush the passer more than the Jets could in the past. You then have Bart Scott going, obviously, replaced by Demario Davis, who can be a leader, once again, athletic. And I think David Harris even trying to shed a few pounds and become more athletic himself, which is pretty important. I think that group will be fast. I think they'll be good. I think the secondary, yes, you've lost Jeremiah Bell and LaRon Landry. DeRon Landry come in, not the same caliber as his brother, but they're hoping to let some of the young guys go in. I think that's their problem area on defense. But I think that their corners will be good enough to make up for it. They lost Aaron Berry to an ACL tear. Probably fourth, fifth corner, not a big issue if the other guys such as Kyle Wilson, Milner, Cromartie, Ellis Langster, all Isaiah Trufant as well, all play up to their potential. So I think the defense will be good, and I could see even a top 10 defense from that group. Top 15 certainly. I think they'll be one to watch. Now move over to the offensive side of the ball, and in my opinion, the best transaction the Jets made all off-season. It's not Geno Smith, it's not Braylon Edwards picking up again, it was Marty Mornhinweg. Yes, Eagles fans will sound surprised, but it's hard to deny that he is a very good coordinator. And what you're hearing from the beat writers is that the Jets' offense is certainly looking a lot more dangerous. So that's an important area. I think Geno Smith will probably beat out Mark Sanchez from the way it appears to be going. But even if he doesn't, Sanchez will feel pushed, he'll have to play better, and I think the Jets will be in a better position overall on offense. That will be a better group as well. I think Santonio Holmes may not play all year, but I think that was a big issue a few years ago, but I'm not sure. Once again, he's the same player he was. Neither's Braylon Edwards. I think Stephen Hill's got to stand up, hearing good things about Clyde Gates, and Jeremy Curley was probably the brightest spot on the Jets franchise last year. You know, he made a lot of important catches, performed pretty well. Kellen Winslow, Jeff Cumberland, tight end. Will that work out? Once again, not entirely sure. But at the very least, I wouldn't have thought it'd be a downgrade. Keller was injured a lot last year and not that effective when he did play. Offensive line, much the same as last year, improved at guard, proved by the fact that Vlad Ducasse isn't even competing this year, whereas last year he pushed Slauson. So obviously we've got Willie Cologne, Stephen Peterman, and the rookie Brian Winters who will come in there. Once again, I think an improved group, best in the NFL, far from it. But I think if Geno starts, the Jets have a shot to be alright. They've got a tough schedule at the start, but if they can work past that, I think they'll be quite a good group. So here comes the interesting part to end the video. My prediction for the New York Jets. My prediction is 8-8. Bit of a surprise. I do not think they'll be as bad as people think. Don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll have created a young nucleus, and I think they can move on past it. Rex Ryan keeping his job, not too sure, but certainly he'll give a pretty good go this year. And that brings me to the end of my video, where the next one, when you next tune in, will be on the Miami Dolphins. Thanks. So remember to subscribe, like, see you again in the future.